Yeah, dude. I gotta make. Oh, shut the fuck up. Everything's on. You're more reasonable than the rest.
So I would just say put it right here.
So,
That would cover all four.
where'd you get that glass? Go give me another cabinet. You want a cube glass? Give me another, brother.
Bougie bitch. You want a cube?
I'm gonna just.
Actually, pretty smart.
Make sure he doesn't start making you something.
I'll die, like whatever. I'll just split weed in this way.
I was gonna say, grab my.
Yeah.
I might be able to survive this shit.
I wonder what that sounded like. Send me that way.
I might honestly be able to survive it because my heart rate is spiked because of the alcohol.
What is it?
No, it'll make it worse because I'm worried about this dish
Grab my
sound.
shaker bottle.
I don't
I have a
want.
really low heart rate, so
That's very
because my
smart,
heart rate
dude.
is so low, it closes my
Look,
throat
that's
up
actually not
and
smart.
it
Look.
drops my heart rate.
Adam,
So it goes
Hand me my shaker bottle.
caffeine.
Just give me the shaker.
Just so,
I can't advise it.
No, I was gonna say, just clip it right here.
no, that's too much.
That's not gonna. Yeah,
That's successful.
Is it gonna fit here?
Right here, right here.
Yeah, I need some kind of action. All right, I'm gonna put it this general direction.
I'm trying to sip it to be an asshole to the camera because the camera's like
ASMR.
Okay.
ASMR.
So you're there. I can probably just mic this one.
Yeah.
Do you want to do it, or I want? What are you wearing? I'm doing it.
So just put it
What
on
are you
you.
wearing? You just touch.
Caught in the field. No, so
That's
your
my
mic.
shield,
If I put this on your shit, it'll.
No, just actually.
I mean to.
Real time, but
I tried not to. I was under his tit. All right, give me a break. I gotta find my vape before I try to do this.
The first thing
This is,
Trump said was he's gonna reform HEMA.
100.
I already made that video with AI.
We're gonna make it great again.
HEMA will be great again. The greatest.
Greatest ever.
Historical European martial arts. The best martial arts. Everybody knows it.
Everybody knows it.
Everybody knows it. Hello, everyone. HEMA House is the best historical European martial art podcast of all time. Joe Rogan, a dog. He has nothing. Nothing on HEMA House. I should go on Joe Rogan. Shout out Joe Rogan. Put me on the podcast, dude.
Shout out Joe Rogan.
I'm in HEMA debt, bro. You don't even know what it's like, dog. We got
We do it for
swords.
free.
We're not kicking, bro. We got swords. Fucking. Welcome to HEMA House. This is third one, fellas? Third
I
one?
believe so,
Fuck,
yes.
I don't
I
know.
think it was the third one, but I've done similar things. It's the third HEMA
Were you
House.
Raleigh? This? I thought we did one between them.
Fuck no.
At the Florida one.
Fuck. I didn't do shit at Florida other than make a video.
Oh, above that. Yeah, this is 3.
Third.
Alright, this is 3.
What other fucking language?
Now you'll notice that there's an environment change. You probably ain't ever seen this much liquor on the fucking table.
We are
So-
intoxicated as fuck.
It slowly gets more degenerative as we do this,
I
but
plead the
that's
fifth.
fine.
I'm not drinking anything.
He's full of shit. I don't drink, so this is fun to watch him get shit faced, but like whatever, I didn't pay for it. This
Okay.
dude, the U.S. Army paid for it, dude.
Tax dollars.
Thanks for using your travel card. You paid for your own alcohol.
Shit.
We should have used your travel card. We should have.
Travel card.
Oh, you're gonna spend no money, dude. We got a free house. You got a travel card. All you had to do is
Yeah.
put it in, dude.
Yeah, the U.S. Air Force is going to see $175 expense at Waters liquor store.
Wait,
Name drops the liquor store.
What is that? Just Friday for lunch? What the hell?
It's the IRS. That's what you tell
It's
them.
going to take
Necessary
5 months for this
expense.
shit to come
I
out.
would like to
Consider it
say,
like
as
an
a
addition.
taxpayer, I'm okay with this.
As a taxpayer, I believe in giving the government alcohol.
As a
Because they're
taxpayer,
already so stupid.
I'm tired of fucking paying taxes personally. I don't know about y'all, but I don't want to pay them.
Welcome to the Libertarian Podcast.
Dude, no, you're gonna give me a copyright strike. Stop. It's like worst red band over here, dude. Oh my god, it's not Kill Tony. I don't know if you guys can hear that.
What the fuck? You've been
Just show him the laptop. Show him the, just point it this way. You're in frame. It's time for your Dude, I'm gonna put a black bar over it.
Mute everything that we just said and put in parentheses.
It might be an hour and a half of silence by the
Put
end
me
of
in the
it.
shadow and change my voice. You know,
No,
this guy's really weird. I just don't understand.
I'm gonna AI swap your face with Marshall's. No, oh my god.
My kicks.
I'm not, dude, I'm gonna get a copyright strike from some shit that happened all the way over there on a lavalier.
ISIS is gonna copyright you?
Yes.
If it's less than 15 seconds.
True. That is not gonna copyright.
Alright, we're good, we're rolling
The
still.
Islamic State is very important today.
Shout out to the
Remember
CCP.
that Taiwan is a country.
No, shout out to
Oh, dude! What'd you just say?
Hey.
Social credit minus 5,000. Thank you.
We're in an Airbnb. Take the volume.
Yeah, that's why.
Take it down a little bit.
The shit, what's it called? It's up to the T.
Tiananmen Square?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, you said it, not me.
Dude,
Tiananmen Square.
they teach that in China. Sluts. One time, alright, I guess I'll tell this story. If you can zoom this shit in, oh fuck, brother, fucking sorry, I'm not even drunk. What the fuck? I got this tattoo here. When I was like 16, I got this tattoo. It says slut. And then I had my homeboy's little brother. He's like 11. And he was like, "Does this say slaves?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude, it totally says slaves. That's funny as fuck." And I didn't have the heart to tell him what a slut was. He's just out. He's like gone. Yeah, I got sluts on heart. I thought it was funny when I was 16, but my girlfriend at the time did not think it.
Where's the vodka?
So yeah, we have alcohol. I bought some shitty sake for everyone.
Same shit.
There's Bailey's Espresso Cream. I don't know who the fuck drinks that shit.
I'm a pirate. I know what rum is. Okay, thank
This
you.
is rum.
Where's the rum gone?
It is not gone. Yes. Yeah.
I had to drive them to the liquor store all together. I got half of them in my car, and the other half ran down the street.
Do not let him lie and slander the public.
They ran
he
down the
said
street.
that he would
There's
bring
a
us
doorbell camera,
liquor,
asshole.
and he did not bring us liquor.
There's a doorbell camera. This is why we need to be quiet.
Yippee-ki-yay.
This is not on our dime, brother. If this is my money, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I do not care. What are you fucking playing, dude? What the
Shadow Wizard.
Someone take his
Shadow
Wizard Money Gang, the anime? Dude, that's more than 15 seconds.
Hey, you should definitely find a soundboard and then just like.
Fucking every time some shit pops up on the soundboard, I just start inhaling the mic, like start doing that to the mic. Every time there's some shit. So, yeah, that's actually important. Our business has expanded.
We have a soundboard now.
I'm selling. I can't win. I can't win. We're selling fur hats now anyway. This is the whole podcast. It's done. Like, it's just done after this one. I knew this was going to shit.
Give me a small cup, please.
Derailed. I don't know what to do. I do not know what to do, dude. Alright. That's fucking loud. Quit. Fucking. Alright, where's the mute button?
I got it.
It doesn't even fucking work. Okay, it does. Never mind. We're cool.
My legs.
He was a
Oh
small
my
glass.
fucking god.
No, but in reality here.
Alright, so today.
Obviously, you don't.
Shut the fuck up! God, fuck! Illegal! We went over this shit! Alright, anyways, today we went to, where the fuck were we? Starland Yard here. In Savannah, Georgia, for an event for Marshall, who graciously let us in this house that is not his, and he paid for it. I swear to fucking God, if you pull up more fucking bullshit, we're not listening to Red Sun in the Sky, motherfucker. Alright? So, I have no grip on him. It's pissing me off. I think by the end of the night, someone's getting put in every chokehold I know. I don't know.
The only thing I have to focus on is not moving from this chair, so it's easier to edit my face out of
Yeah.
We're just gonna put Xi Jinping's face on you.
Put Gigi thing on you.
No, put it in.
There's Tiananmen Square on the TV. This has gone to shit. But yeah, so we did the event today, and this whole recording's going to shit slowly. I can't say shit.
How about we
Can't
just
do
go
shit.
around, introduce each other?
Bro, I didn't even get to fucking do the intro because y'all won't shut the fuck up. My intro has been 30 fucking minutes
All right, let's
between the CCP and you motherfuckers, bro. Like, all right. So we were at Starland Yard today. We were hanging out, having a good time with Scholar Savannah crew. They invited us out. They paid for the Airbnb.
Thank you.
We want to thank Marshall for that. And we're not going to be dicks in this Airbnb.
Nope.
Because
We're responsible adults.
Because I don't want to charge him money, and the lady was very nice. So
She was, so shout out.
shout out, lady. Shout out, Marshall. There was one. What's the
Probably
take
like
now?
40 pounds of meat in there.
I am not touching the meat in there. We didn't need to. We didn't need to freeze anything.
40 pounds of meat in the freezer, but
Okay.
It's all human. It's all baby.
Whitey's on the moon.
Shit ton of food.
Started a new
A shit ton of
hashtag.
them.
Mike only gonna pick up like you and him.
Brother, there's a mic right
I
there.
know, but like, how well does that pick anyone else?
If he moves it one more fucking time, you're not getting picked up at all. That's all right. So it kind of has to like.
So I don't
He's
get
close,
picked up.
so it's gonna go here because he's talking here. He's talking here.
So-
You're talking here. So it's all going here.
Okay.
He's there, so it doesn't really matter because he's getting caught between this and that, but he's more likely to get caught on that.
Yeah, I'm
So
gonna
what
do
I
it
would
here.
do is just move his fucking liquor.
It was picking up him from across the dojo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it was very audible too. Did you edit any of that audio?
Yeah.
Thank you. I was wondering why it sounded good. I was like, there's no way that.
Can you unmute the TV? I can't hear it.
All right, dude. I don't even know where I put the remote, bro.
Just use it sparingly, okay?
All right. Hold on. It won't work.
Turn down to like.
Yeah, I think 50 would be good.
So, Bo, you need to just make these like tiny clips that you put like at the end. We need to actually start the video sometime soon
I
because
think I used to do that once upon a
That's a
time.
lot of editing.
be like
That is so much editing.
You don't edit.
That's like taking all the shit you hated and just putting it back
Bro,
in.
you have some poor intern to edit all this shit for you. He doesn't even need to edit. He needs to cut. He needs to cut and copy it.
He's editing this.
That's the point.
He doesn't even do the editing. That's not even him you're talking about.
All you need to do is
I do half of it. The other dude just pays for the fucking
all
thing.
you need to do is slice it from the beginning and put it a title card that says bloopers, a black box that says bloopers, and then put this behind it.
You know what I would do? I would take the clip I hated the most, drag it to the top of my screen, forget about it till I'm done, and just.
Put this whole segment at the end and be like, it only gets worse from here.
So there's gonna be a compilation. There's gonna be a compilation of just Adam talking at some point.
Just don't want to ignore the fact that we're getting vine boomed out the ass. He's been vine booming everything I say the whole entire time.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Hashtag Whitey's on the moon.
I showed them a Gil Scott Heron song and they don't know how to act. Like, I'm done. I fucking quit. So I want to go around and give everyone a chance to talk here. I'm going to start with Kevin because you've had like 2 classes and you went out to Starland Yard and fought today. And that might mean something for you, but you need to talk about it first.
So my name is Kevin. I've honestly had
too much to drink.
Little bit, but I pace myself just very terribly. I've had 2 fights underneath my belt. These guys are great. I love them to death. Bo's an amazing instructor. I've learned so much in the legitimately 2 classes that I've had. One.
I thought you kicked ass.
Mind you, he's not reading off of a card.
No, there's no card.
I cannot read. There's like 2 cameras right in front of me. So, anyways. But in all seriousness,
you're also under oath.
I'm also under oath, apparently. But I've learned a lot, both about the history of actual sword fighting, the different types of sword fighting, and the techniques used. I've learned that using footwork is extremely important, just like in different forms of martial arts, and it's extremely important to actually use those techniques in fighting, because if you're just going in and hammering, you're just going to get tired and then you're going to get stabbed in the face, which Eli did to me earlier. But yep, I'm Kevin. I enjoy it. It's great. I'm gonna
send you the mic.
I guess I have the mic now.
I don't know if it was just talking good shit. So here's the thing. There's like one criteria to become an agent in Shafah. Congratulations, you just became one. You showed up. You showed up to the thing. You did it. I couldn't give it to you at the museum because you didn't fight, but
that's fair.
You also had 2 classes under your belt, so I was like, when you get more gear, it becomes more of a thing. I need to order cockades desperately. I want to shout out the cockade lady while I'm here. Shout out Heather Sheen, Creative Cockade. Shout out. All right, Eli, you're the youngest in the room.
I am the youngest. I'm the newest-ish, other than my brother over here.
Which I picked him up because I made a Facebook ad for $40. First day.
Skyrim, and that was me.
I clicked Skyrim on my target. I was like,
yeah. I started HEMA when I was 16. I started with silver, which apparently was a bad move, but
I think the soundboard's great.
You control it.
But now I'm here doing Italian. I don't like getting stabbed that much, but it was fun doing Starland Yard. It was my first time interacting with other clubs.
You did good.
How are those thrusts, dude?
You kicked ass.
Yeah, I did all right.
I hope that picks up. Like, I really hope that picks
I
up.
want to throw my drink at you. I just do want you to understand.
Please don't. Last time I had to deal with people spilling drinks, I didn't like having to deal with it. Please don't spill drinks on each other or just on the floor. That shit sucks too. So you fought, and I gotta say, everyone actually had really nice things to say about you. And I was like, they ain't done this shit that long.
Really, I appreciate it. Yeah, I put a lot. I mean, I just do things quick. Yeah. I just put energy into it, and then it kind of works out.
The hardest part is showing up.
Really is.
Yeah, but
I will say I went against Eli in one of the little bouts that we did, and he definitely has that energy. Sometimes we're like, oh shit, I'm about to die.
Yeah.
He's definitely a force to be reckoned with, and I honestly think we're kind of on the same level. And I think as we continue to grow as a group and as swordsmen, him and I can easily kind of build off of each other and build each other up to be absolute monsters in competitive sword fighting.
Yeah, I liked fighting. I really like fighting anyone other than Bo. Because you're the only one I fight. You and Adam are the only people I ever fight. So it's nice fighting.
It's nice fighting other people
who weren't.
Hold on.
Who weren't as experienced, but were more experienced than me. You know. Yeah. I didn't get my butt kicked as hard. But who else is here?
Hand over to Adam.
Come on, Adam.
Adam, probably. Hold on, damn. hold on. Adam is probably the highest ranking student right now that's active. So that's important to mention. It's been how long now?
December 24th of 2023.
God damn, you remember the date?
Because I went and I bought my plane tickets to visit my ex on that day.
Oh god.
I remember exactly when this happened.
How'd you enjoy Starland today?
Starland was great. I was not prepared because I fought Marshall originally at one point and beat him. I don't want to say beat him, but I contested against him well enough for a new beginner fighter. Because the first time I fought him, I was at 7 months. And today, I did horribly against him. I'll say that much. My fights were not the greatest. And I think that's because I've been stuck fighting in my own pond instead of going to bigger ponds.
Yeah,
So I
love
screwed
the
myself
pond
over
analogy.
in that definitely. Once the night ended, I started getting back into my normal tempo. But like what Eli and Kevin said about having people to build off of, that was something that I also experienced when I started. We had a dude named Deuce, and especially when I started Bo and a few other people that we had in the club were my building blocks. I had multiple people that I could spar against daily that were very different between different weapons of side sword, rapier, and longsword. All four very different understandings of a weapon. All four very different skill levels, age ranges, and that allowed me to build to the point I am now. So what they said is very valid, especially what Kevin said about the footwork. As somebody that did karate, well, more JKD so than karate, those principles apply over the footwork, the center line, the fighting line, your hands or your weapon, depending on how you want to phrase it. All of that applies, and by having multiple people you could fight against, it definitely built me to where I am now, and the consistency, just like Eli said. And I think the fact that a lot of those people I used to fight are not as consistent as I am now, a lot of them just are busy, caused me to be in a definite point of stagnation. And I really hope that I'm able to come back again and keep fighting different clubs, because it will allow me to fix this plateau that I've definitely been stuck at. Fighting Bo, who I fight on probably about 4 times
At least
a week.
twice a week.
Yeah,
there's 2 times
at least
a week
twice
that I
a
won't
week,
spar.
but I'm there like most every day that isn't Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah.
And
You're there every day.
yeah, so it's like I'm screwed all the way till Sunday pretty much when it comes to fighting Bo.
Wednesday through
I know
Sunday.
what to fight with him, but everyone else is different. Casey especially. I love whenever this dude comes out because it's a very different style of fighting.
That was
I don't know if y'all
that
can
was
hear
fire. That was fire.
but he just played the GTA death sound effect on the TV behind us. So I want you to go into GTA 5 and get sniped in the head by a hacker and then get back to me on this video.
Oh, I'll just
Sound
insert
is
that
right.
clip.
The sound is pretty quiet. I'm gonna turn it back to that.
There you go.
All right.
That's
Don't
pretty
now
play,
play
don't
the
play nothing
intro.
too loud.
To
I think that'll
Supernatural, if you want to know the clips that are being played in the background.
The song back to the
When did you get glasses, dude? What the fuck?
I just want to say real quick before we pass the mic to somebody else. I want to build on his analogy of, quote unquote, like fishing in your same pond. If you're constantly fishing in the same pond, you're gonna catch the biggest fish, and you lose the fun of that. So being able to travel around the southeastern states and being able to fight other people, you're fishing in other ponds, and the only way to get better is to fight people who are better than you. So for me, I got my ass handed to me by Adam, but at the same point in time, I've learned different ways of, I need to learn how to counter this. I need to how to move my feet away and find different angles to attack and to defend. Because it's a game of chess, honestly. It's 100% a game of chess.
So they keep using this. Fuck. They keep using this pool analogy. Oh my god, dude. So the pond analogy, the pool analogy. Dude, stop it. Quit. Let me talk, bro. Oh my. Mute.
If anybody wants to know,
F5.
he's playing the Gangster
Yeah,
Paradise
alright.
intro clip
Jesus
on
fuck.
repeat.
So essentially, the retention pond theory. Okay. Best way to put it, your dojo, whatever fuck you want to call it, is the pond,
The small pond.
right? And if you don't fucking let it run off, what kind of pond is it?
Stagnant.
Stagnant or retention pond level gross at least.
Got a lot of algae.
Yeah, it does got a lot of algae. You don't want to swim in it.
Close to the microphone.
You don't want to swim in it all the time if you do swim in it already. But like, there are some places that are just fucking dirty. You might not swim there either. But you'd be surprised what you can catch in muddy water. Catfish tastes good.
Very true.
Catfish is amazing.
Catfish tastes good.
That's the only fishing I actually like to do.
So I'll talk about like stagnation and like how to get around that, because if you are
Oh, that's
fighting the
good.
same people constantly and you find yourself in the same combat loop, the one thing to get around that is to say, I'm going to make rules for myself, right? Let's say I'm weak fencing from a low guard. Okay, so I can only fence from a low guard now. These next 3 rounds, I'm only fencing from a low guard, right? Let's say you want to focus on a specific technique. Let's say you say, I want to do Shadowhow. Shadowhow is one of those things that not many people do.
I don't even know what the fuck that is, dude. I've been doing this shit a minute. The fuck is a shuttle how?
Shadowhow?
Don't take out the fucking ceiling.
Shield
fan.
how.
Shield how?
No,
No, that's the
there's
scalpel.
Shield How and there's Shidle Shidle
It's like when you
is
shit yourself in the middle of it.
is
Chemical warfare.
Shiloh.
Cool.
That's Shiloh.
So I am definitely not trying to be like Lichtenhauer and sitting down and talking with a sword, but it
You
seems
need
to be
two.
working.
You need
Okay,
two.
a shield how is here.
Oh,
A shuttle how, my favorite interpretation, is here.
that's Picornio, bro.
Oh.
It's a cut. Sure, I don't know Fiore. Okay,
Picornio.
sure, but it's
One of,
it's not
that's
here.
one of 80
It's-
Explain the difference
Picornios.
between shield how and a shuttle how.
No,
It just
it's
did.
not-
It just did, dude.
it's not here. Okay,
Oh.
it's not here. It's extended.
Yeah,
and
no,
above.
it's like if they're in Kron, you go over it.
Yeah, it's a way to drop down and cut the top of the head if they're parrying
It
high.
doesn't matter if it's false or true.
So it depends on your interpretation. That's my
Okay.
interpretation. Is you go palms up. Some people prefer palms down and they like drop the point.
I
But
find
it's-
if I twist over doing the gok
Yeah.
3000 motion, like right in your face, right? Then you get that the cut, right?
Yeah,
Daniel's
yeah,
done
yeah.
that to me a couple times, so
Sure.
that's my interpretation of it. But it's
Yeah.
also just Picornia.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I don't know. If you ever watch me do Picornia, you'll be like, that dude
So
sucks.
is Bicornio a guard or an attack?
Bicornio is, oh my god, he's picking it
It's
up.
a guard.
It's a guard.
Okay, so
it's a
this is an
fluid
attack.
guard. It's
Yeah,
a
this
is
fluid
an
guard.
attack.
Is this?
Okay, this is an
Fiore,
attack.
yeah, Fiore has three stances: stabile, instabile, and
Falsativa.
falsativa. That falls in instabile because it's
Right.
Basically, fucking stable, not stable, strong. The
So
best way to put it.
what Shuttle How is a master how from Lichtenauer. So it's an attack and defense at the same time.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay,
you
word.
use it slightly differently than you would just a regular guard.
So I guess my way of like putting that into words is you cut into a guard,
Yeah.
how you
which
Yeah.
you should.
how you interpret it.
Right.
I mean, that's just how I would word it, I guess.
But going back to stagnation, let's say you want to focus on something. Let's say, oh, I'm constantly getting hit on my right shoulder. How do I avoid that?
I learned that after fighting Aaron.
Right.
Yeah,
And
I
you
was
have to
like, fuck this
mentally
dude.
think about different options and then say, okay, how do I turn this into a longer exchange or a shorter exchange? So let's say you've got the single tempo counters down,
Yeah.
right? And you're like, okay, well, what if I'm constantly getting hit by second or third intentions? So now, one, maybe I'll start throwing a feint. Maybe I start preparing for the second intention. Maybe I prepare for a long counter where I like step back, and it's one of those mental games where it's like, okay, what am I weak at? I identify it and then I work on it.
And then you look at your HEMA rating, right?
I don't.
If I can ask on that question and build upon that statement, because I have tried doing those things and I have noticed, and as I explained to other people today at the event actually, is when you get to that point of stagnation and you try to do those things, when you go back to doing your default or your normal things,
See, that's the
that it
problem.
causes a actual decrease trying to build upon both, like, so say how I normally fight. I'll then try to do as you said. I'm then going to try to combine those two ways of fighting. I'm actually going to feel like I'm doing worse overall consistently.
So, in my
So what
opinion-
is the best way to fix that or to counter that in a way that's productive?
So, in my opinion, it's not changing your fighting style. It's giving you a tool in your toolbox to use. So, you, for example, you're really good at hand snipes, right? You're really good at like your range and your distance, and you're constantly throwing out those long shots, right?
That was good. That was good.
So if everybody wants to know, he just did a whiplash sound effect. That's why we're all laughing.
We have an immigrant red band, dude. Give this dude a green card right now.
So let's say you realize, hey, I'm not getting any short range attacks. I'm staying long, right? I personally like defense long. So in order to counteract that, I force myself to take a passing step. So then those hand shots become less of a priority because I have access to the deeper targets.
That's actually what I've been trying to do is staying in Donna, or Body's Donna more specifically. And I'll go in, and Bo can definitely attest to this. There's days where I get really clean thrusts. But as you saw today fighting Marshall, I don't know if we're going to be adding any clips from Men's video or not, but fighting him, I did horrible trying to do that. And it feels like when I try to go back to my normal way of fighting, I try to do both at the same time, or I try to incorporate both ways of fighting, I feel like I'm actually doing worse. Is there a way to actually counteract that or build upon that? Or is that just a time frame issue?
So I think it's a time frame issue. For me, I found when I was learning HEMA, I found that every 6 months, I had a noticeable increase in like whatever I was doing, right? And it's not like, hey, I learned this thing, I'm going to do it, and then now I'm doing it and I'm good at it, right? It takes time. For me, average 6 months, twice a week. You know, if you're doing something more and you're focusing on one thing in particular, you might improve that in 3 or 4 months, right?
So I'll add to this, and I have a question for you.
Okay.
As your instructor, you're fine. Like you are progressing at a normal rate. I think you're at a point where it becomes harder, and you're just you're just kind of stuck on a downtrend. Maybe
That's what I'm
sometimes
saying.
sometimes
That's
that
what I
can
feel like I'm
happen.
stuck on
You can get
right
stuck on a downtrend, and then you go fight another dude, and you're up on a trend again. You're like, oh, that hurt. Let me try to do this, or you saw something someone else did to you, and you try to. There's a weird fist bump action. You want a fist bump? All right, cool.
Yeah, like, you just let us both hang and go with
I have no clue. I don't know what was going on, but yeah. So, anyways, my question here, and I think this was my eye opener. My question: I went and fought Aaron Schobert, love him to death, but he hits hard. God, don't care. But you know, it wasn't that he was hitting hard. Just that my cozy cobra kept flicking it to my shoulder.
Yeah.
And every time he cut down, I was like, God damn. And he's a hunk of a man, you know. But so here's the thing: we threw the same shit at each other. Like it was like a mirror fight. Have you been in that position? I'm asking you specifically, and this will go for the rest of you too. Eventually, as we kind of go around, after we get to Matthew. But you ever had a fight like that where you are doing the same shit that dude's doing, and you're like, oh fuck, it's me, but bigger or smaller or same size, whatever it is, you know? Because that's how I felt fighting Aaron. I was like, God damn, I didn't feel as bad about myself because I was like, he's doing the same shit.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that I've had a mirror match.
Dude, them doubles were crazy. Them doubles were crazy.
Did you ever fight one of your students?
All right, not that one.
I don't know what. So everyone
It's
just
some
know,
Sega.
he just played the most aggressively like microwave Sega intro clip that you could ever.
I didn't even know it was Sega.
I don't know, but that was horrible, and
Clash
that
of Clans.
should never be played again. But to build upon what both said, have you ever faced either a student or another person that has fought against you so much that they fight similarly to you, especially similar to how Bo trains all of his students, and we all fight similar but different?
I'll plead the fifth.
What do you mean?
No, so I already answered that, right? So the answer to my question, the answer I gave is I've never really had a mirror match, but when I fight Richard Vang, we're both outside fighters, and we both know a lot of tricks, right? So it's one of those things where it's not really stagnant. It's not really a stagnant pond because we have so many tools to play with. It's just which tool am I using to counteract the tool I think he's using.
Yeah.
And then, oh shit, last minute I have to change up my game plan. Right. Oh. So for me, I don't see it as a mirror match. I see it more of I'm building a house, but now I've decided to add a second story in the garage.
It's a game of wits, pretty much. It's like you can outwit the other one.
Well, it's wits and like a line, right?
Yeah.
If I present,
That's a Minecraft eating sound effect.
I'll take it.
if I present,
I'll take it.
If I present like low underhand or low short edge cuts, and I'm going for your hands but not really committing, that's a type of feint, right? But I'm showing you what I want, and then I take something else, right? Because you might feel comfortable at that range, and I'm like, well, I'm keeping that distance, long thrust, long deep target.
So that's kind of like a bait and switch kind of thing.
Point.
Presenting one thing, but then immediately switching over to another form.
To a
of
point.
Just remember, when you're fencing, it's a conversation between two liars.
Oh,
Yes.
I've never thought about it that way.
Oh. Get this man a record deal, dude. What the fuck?
I like
And
that.
I've never thought about it that way.
Honestly.
So now that we're over on this side, I mean, so you came to the event. I know you're a little late. What's up with it? No, you gotta talk, dude. You gotta talk. You don't get a an exception.
A lot of attractive women.
Oh my god, dude.
Where did that come from?
There was though.
There was.
Is
If
Savannah
they're
like
of
a
age.
college town or something?
I don't know.
Down here, there's
I'm gonna kill all of them.
Savannah. It's an institute for like
Learning.
All right. So all right.
Oh
Yeah. All right.
Be for real.
All right, so to compound on the concept of stagnation, whenever I'm practicing, that's not the time of day for me to rest on my strengths. Like exactly, like as Casey, hashtag Air Casey, let's say,
Facts. Just Spence.
it's a time where you work on your weakness. And that's true. Like in fencing and martial arts in general, you get to know yourself a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You get to know what you're strong at and what you're not good at. At some point in time, tournaments, meetups, whatever, if you want to play at your strengths, because when you're fighting in general, you always play for your strengths. Like GSP with he's good in grappling, right?
The GSP had a killer left head round kick.
It is.
I don't remember if he was a wrestler. Was
Basically,
GSP
yeah,
good at
yeah,
wrestling?
yeah. Habib,
I think he was all right. Habib, let's just use any Dagestani MMA fighter.
yeah, Khabib is a good grappler, absolutely.
He wrestle fights you till you die.
Mhm.
That's also
And
about
tells you to
Bo's
tap
a great
out.
wrestler. He'll throw your ass. He uses a
I'm
sword.
not that good, dude. I'm not that good at wrestling,
It
dude.
just uses a sword to get close to you, and then bam, next thing you know.
I just know enough to throw you on your ass.
So yeah, so I'm blanking out. What was the name of the Irish guy again?
McGregor.
McGregor's a good striker.
Yes, absolutely.
Mhm.
Just like Conor.
So yeah, so when they're fighting in the
Yeah,
tournament,
very
they
quick
are playing
knockout
with
with
their
a right.
strengths. In order for you to find your weaknesses, and also in order for you to work on your weaknesses, that way you flip a card and it's a strong card that you have. That's the time of day, the practices and all that good stuff.
It's like pulling a 21 in
Me
a game of
personally,
blackjack.
I'll not only you should when it comes to stagnation. I'm not saying that working on your weaknesses is the only way. There's also another way: experimentation. Now, what do I mean by that?
I want to touch on that when you're done.
Okay. Now, what do I mean by that? So we have all of these books, we have all of these treatises, we have all of these masters, East and West, Japan, China, France, Germany, Italy, you name it. It's all there. But at the end of the day, the limit of martial arts is your imagination. So whenever I'm finding single rapier, I not only think about Verdadeira Destreza or Fabris, at that matter. I think about Jackie Chan's drunken fist style.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Because
get
that's,
behind it.
because that's literally how I stance. I don't guard up, especially when I'm not in measure. Because when I'm pretty sure you can't hit me from there. Not a dig.
Throw it.
Yeah. Not only that, but do I have to tense up? Do I have to do my guards when I'm over here, dude? When I'm over here, I'm relaxed as hell. As a matter of fact, I do. I don't want to say drunken style, but yeah, I do. I do like that Conor McGregor.
You like to mess.
You're
You
like
like to
loose,
move
you're
around
loose,
and
you're
mess
flowing.
around.
It kind of reminds me of like a
I mean,
jellyfish.
yeah, because there's a couple of YouTube videos that I come across, and it's archetypes of fighters. There's certain archetypes of fighters.
Archetypes?
Archetypes.
Yeah, that's fine. You drank.
Archetypes of fighters. So there's like a brawler, like headstrong. I believe Bo's that. I can't really say
Just hits you in your hands, so
I
you're
can't really say
hit.
indefinite, but like you like to be by the book. That's the archetype that
I like to
that
treat
I
my
got from you.
longsword like a rapier. I like to just disengage constantly and then hit you in the hand.
Me, as much as possible, I like to be Sun Wukong.
The fuck does that mean?
The monkey kicking. Black Myth Wukong. You heard of that game?
That sounds like I'm gonna get canceled. That sounds just like a way to get. Oh, son of Wukong! I almost got canceled. Never mind.
Yeah, I tried to be
That hurt me.
I tried to be. Hold up. So I try to be a trickster, because, like I said, when in fencing, it's conversation between two liars, and I remember what Sun Tzu said: always pretend you're weak when you're strong, and when you're weak, pretend that you're strong.
Sun Tzu was kind of a pussy. He showed up late a lot. He showed up late a lot. I like Sun Tzu. Fuck Masashi though. If you ever read the Book of Five Rings, like burn it, piss on it. It's just a big loophole.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Just one big book you read around.
Fencing, longsword, battle tactics, 1965 Vietnam War era tactics, friggin' trench warfare.
Agent Orange.
No. Let me see. Let me cook.
Agent, you had to cook Agent Orange too, dude. Yeah.
Let him cook. Okay. Everything that we do, from an individual level up until you're commanding 500,000 men, War is based on deception.
That's also the intro to Modern Warfare 3, by the way.
Mhm.
That's literally from Modern Warfare.
So to recap what I said.
HEMA psyops.
So
I literally have that book in the dojang.
So to recap what I said, don't only working on your weakness is a very strong point. Also, experiment.
Okay, so how did you enjoy the event though? That was my question.
A lot of chicks.
Oh my fucking god! All right, what was your question?
I didn't have a question.
Casey had something to
Can't win.
I didn't have a question. I just wanted to expand on your experimentation comment because that is another way to get out of stagnation. I found out, like, I don't know, last year sometime about crumps, right?
Crumping on
Yep.
these hoes. I don't want to say that again. He brushed the mic. Probably sound like
Crumping is an attack to the blade, right? It can also be an attack to the hands, but it's crooked, so it's like a kind of like an offline cut.
Doesn't it mean crooked
Fucking-
strike?
Yes. So
like throwing up blood and crip.
They used to call me in high school.
Blood and crip.
Crump.
Oh, crump. Why they call you crump?
Did you get like overhand right into the face and you crumpled too?
I don't know, man. They just used to call me Crump.
now I have something to add, but I'll add to the end of this.
Okay.
So I found out when you crump, it's taught to crump the mid blade, right?
Crump over your
If you crump too close to the weak, you fucking fuck up and you get stabbed.
Lance Corporal Crump is your new.
Crump towards the tip of the
Yes,
blade
yes.
instead of more towards the center.
Yes.
Okay.
When I was
I'm gonna
experimenting,
crump.
I was experimenting because I was constantly getting hit in the hands, right? Defending your hands is something that you're going to struggle with like constantly.
Dude, I'm not letting anyone
get
else
good
from
at
the
it.
Air Force in this club, dude. Can't do it. He's fucking demolishing you.
I'll-
I'm sorry, dude.
I'll get good at defending my hands, and then I'll get shitty at defending my hands, and then I'll get good at defending my hands, and it's an up and down thing, right?
But do you feel
So-
like there's a progression to that? Like you get better.
Is it like the stock market?
With experimentation.
Stonks.
Okay. So I decided, fuck it. Someone goes to cut my hand, I'm going to crump the strong of their blade. And it fucking works, right? It knocks off their cut
The
line just enough to keep my hand safe. And I don't have to move. I don't have to take a step. I don't have to do any weird, large cut. I just push my pommel under my hand and
You did it.
crump to the strong
You bite my vape.
on either side. Okay. So experimentation is really good, right?
Yes, this is serious. And I've got a question to put up with all you boys. When do you realize you're stagnating?
I'll take it. I didn't hit that shit. I didn't hit that shit. If I didn't hit that shit, I didn't do it right. That means I fucked up somewhere and I need to do something else until I try to do it again. And then usually I try to do it. If I fucked up on something, I ain't doing it for a minute unless I think you're a dumbass, then maybe I'll try it again. But that's if I think you're a dumbass. If you are like, let's say I'm throwing this and it's not hitting, but I want it to hit, this will now become a fake for something else.
So you're trying
That's
to
kind of
build
it.
upon a failed
Yeah,
experience.
yeah,
Like building blocks.
My fencing is kind of like building blocks. Yeah, I mean, you take. I was talking to. I don't know if it was Zach or Dylan because they had on a lot of different shit, but it was one of yous today, and we spotted.
Enemy spotted.
But no, we had a great conversation because I like to do this. You'll thrust out, and then they'll cover, and you'll cut around, and they're coming in the cover, and you just go under the blade, and you just beat it, and you hit them in the hand, head, whatever the fuck you want. But that's like it's 3 moves. 3 moves compressed into like what? 2 tempo? Pop, pop. Right? It's pretty simple. Just doing shit like that. I mean, like if the thrust didn't land, it didn't land. So I cut didn't land. I'm disengaging. But I'm probably disengaging before that cut if I've already threw that cut and he's defended
So
it.
that's either a 2 or 3 tempo reaction, I believe.
Yeah, I'm not
one-
doing
it's
it
somewhere
more
in
than
there.
like 3 times because you're gonna be like, this dude's dumb. And A is so far.
I do have a
How do
question
feel
to you.
about- how do you feel about when you realize you're stagnant?
So I think when I feel like I'm stagnating,
You've been doing
again,
it for 2 days.
like, honestly, no. Well, in fairness, that's actually a really good question for someone
No,
who's
just
brand
in
new
the
to
last.
it.
No,
What kind of bullshit is this?
Listen,
What kind of
hold on,
shit?
hold on. Yeah,
All right.
yeah. Hold up. Remember what we said about martial arts? It's universal. You can apply this mentality in our life.
Very true.
That wasn't
So-
quite what we were trying to get across when we made that name, but I'll
For
take it.
me,
I
someone
mean, I agree with that sentiment, but good martial is universal is about comparing the likelihoods of martial arts. Like what is in unison together if you look at all of them, because if you look at what's different and everything, you'll never understand why they have something different.
it's all about
Good
defeating your
martial
enemy.
Does also, arguably, good martial arts does come from within And because of that, it also does.
That's some Musashi
and life
bullshit. It
experience.
has nothing
So
to do with
therefore,
it.
good martials
You
across
get
the
life
board.
experience if you go out and you meet the people, but you can stay in the same retention spawn.
Everyone to
You
know,
can stay in the
Matthew
same-
just also played the sad violin.
I'm gonna argue the fuck out of this. Martial arts does not. Alright, I'm standing up for it.
Hold on.
No,
Stand by
fuck
before.
you. Hold on.
say-
Hold on. Martial arts does not make you a better person. It may give you experience, but
It
that
will.
experience may fucking make you sour and
That-
awful person.
Very well.
It's not like there's this thing Dan rants about called black belt behavior. It doesn't fucking exist. Black belt behavior is being able to kick them in the fucking ribs. And we've had that conversation too. You should have ego when you should have ego.
That's audacity, though. You should be audacious when necessary.
I mean, exactly. And then is the opposite the other way around. What's up?
Doesn't that technically go back down?
So I'm talking about.
I don't know.
We all
You went from God. It went from Gotham into this. I don't know.
So-
He asked the question.
I was he wasn't asking to him. Okay.
So since Bo went on a rant, and keep in mind he's a sober one here, but as someone who's only been doing this for a few days, I've been watching things. And even on my off time, I'm watching videos on the
Give me a
historical
sword.
the historical accuracy and styles of sword combat. The way I feel if I'm getting stagnant is when I start switching different feet positions, or left-handed, but I'm fighting right-handed. So if I'm constantly switching to the two, I know I need to start learning new different things because I'm starting to get quote-unquote bored. I don't want to say bored, but at the same point in time, it's like, my main thing that I've been learning is defenses. I want to learn how to attack. I want to learn how to throw a motherfucker. But if I'm all learning is defensive, like Luke in the little ball thing, learning how to defend against that, you're going to get bored.
Star Wars? Yeah, that's a good one.
So you need to, the way I see it is if I feel like I'm getting bored when I'm trying to experiment during shows, events. I haven't been in competitions yet, but during mostly demonstrations and things, when I'm trying to switch things up in mid combat, that's when I know I need to start. All right, I'm here. I need to focus on these certain things and then maybe add a few more things just to kind of continue. It's like making a soup, you got to constantly add spices to it to make it interesting.
That fucking soup was good, wasn't it, boys?
Now-
Yeah.
Soup was amazing.
Was it good soup, Casey?
Yeah.
It was a great soup. We had great soup.
I have shit. I didn't eat orange chicken. I was gonna wait.
So to
I'm gonna
answer
eat whatever's fucking left.
the question that Matthew proposed, just so that we can get
I
a
don't know about that.
restatement
That's
of
good.
Matthew's question. Matthew, can you restate your question again? Because we
What
will.
do you realize when you're being stagnant?
When do I realize that I'm being stagnant? There are multiple occasions when I can realize that I'm being stagnant. One of was addressing the camera.
You're fine. I'm not
One of the
messing
main ways that I can tell that I'm being stagnant personally. Main thing that I've noticed that when I'm becoming stagnant is that I am
smell.
trying new things, because a lot of the time when I fight Bo is an inside fighter a large majority of the time.
Yeah.
bullshit.
He comes
these days.
in
This is bullshit.
And Bo stays within perfect to short
This
range.
is bullshit. You know it, dude.
Bo, you like his work, you like to do a
I-
high
okay,
work called a bow
alright,
how.
alright.
He does that often.
I do the
Because of that,
2015
when I originally started doing HEMA, I fought Bo a lot. I developed a habit of staying in perfect to long measure consistently. I broke out of that habit. It
Real
took
quick.
a very long time to get from.
What he's talking about is the 7 measures that I teach, which
Yeah.
no one is going to have context for that.
So you have a thing called long measure, which is outside
you
of the
missed
sword's
one.
binding.
You missed one. You have out of measure.
Oh yes, out of measure.
You have a long measure, and it's self-explanatory. It's the easiest way to explain it. Long measure, I need a long step and a long cut. Perfect measure, I need a smaller step and a smaller cut. Short measure, I need shit and cut you. Inside measure, I'm grappling. Top, I'm on top. Bottom, I'm on bottom. I'm
Yeah.
fucked, probably. I know a
As-
lot of jujitsu, and he doesn't have a sword.
As he stated, and as we stated, Bo is. I would label myself, and Casey can probably attest, and Bo can probably attest to this, as
Look
they're
at Kevin,
the
yeah.
ones that fight me a lot of the time. I am more of a counter fighter and a outside fighter. I stay at a really long range, and I wait for you to try either something stupid, and I play off that, or I will try to bait a reaction and try to get something off of that. A lot of the time, it's the closest target being the hands, and because I most of the time target the closest thing to me, which is the hands or the head or the leg. A lot of the time, it causes stagnation. Let it either be in my tournament results or be in my normal fencing practices, especially against close range fighters who can take the initiative. And a lot of times in the German tradition, they call that the vor, the before, to take the initiative to get into the attack before I do. So because of that, I had to
Start
develop
strobing
a way
light.
of fighting and had to force myself to not play in this really long position. I had to play in a more reserved position. So I developed a lot of habits that I've tried to use today, in fact, against somebody that plays in that long position, but I realized that I did worse. And I think that is strictly, as Casey said, due to the fact I haven't been doing it long enough. While I can land clean thrusts against Bo from the shorter and more reserved guards, ultimately, when a skill gap is up here and I'm down here, there is obviously going to be some fluctuation in my results. As the day got better, I did better. But as they definitely said, experimentation is probably the best way to get over those.
I'm gonna challenge
jumps.
you and blow your mind.
Most definitely.
Okay, so listen to this. Why did you call yourself a counter fighter?
Why did I call myself, or why didn't I?
Why did you?
Why did I? Is because a lot of the time. So for people that might not know martial arts, a counter fighter is somebody that uses somebody's momentum.
That was a setup. That was a setup.
Somebody's.
This is the part where I blow your mind.
Initiative to get a reaction out of them. And a lot of the time, I use feints or bait, or I try to use feints, baits, or disengages to get somebody to get offline, and I try to use that.
Yeah.
I'm not the best at it.
Hear me out. Because you're rambling now.
Yes.
There's no such thing as a counter fighter. There's not. I'll tell you why. And we'll argue about it because I'm sure you'll have plenty to say.
Okay,
But
so
if everything is based on the bond. Okay, all right,
hear me
go
out.
ahead.
There in KDF is fencing from the vor, fencing from the knock, and indes.
What does that rely on?
Intention.
No? No. Yes.
It depends on how the fuck you want to fight.
But what has to be present?
Tension.
That is true. Zanshin has to be
Zanshin.
present.
Zanshin
You do that, that's wrong. That's semi. Zanshin is like spirit in a way. It's like it's awareness. Yeah, it's like the awareness of being in the fight. That's some shit from Yaido.
So I think the terminology counter fighter relies on like a fundamental understanding of boxing. And boxing is a sport when you put gloves on and hit each other in the face.
We exchanged some blows earlier.
Yeah, me and this guy did punch each other in the face.
This guy.
With fencing, I think it's less counter and more of like checkers or chess, where you move, I move, you move, I move.
Well, there's a counter.
There's a counter to everything.
There's a counter to everything. So hear me out. I don't like the term I'm a counter offensive.
Now, why do you not like the term counter fighter specifically?
It doesn't exist. It doesn't really exist.
Why
You
do you
can't be
think
a
it doesn't
counter fighter
exist?
because then you're not fighting. Because you're only countering.
I'm just letting you go first.
Okay, so
That's not fighting from knock.
yes, sure, but you eventually have to enter a bind.
Yeah, but I didn't
It
say.
doesn't matter who threw it first.
Yeah.
If you take Fiore, those guys were throwing first every time he defended. He says to play off it. It's just a bind.
Yeah.
You're just playing off a bind. There's no counter to it. That's my opinion. And I think if you stick that, oh, I'm a counter fighter in your head, you become stagnant because you don't fucking move. So I don't like the term. Because I think you should be a bind-based fighter. It shouldn't matter who threw it first. You should be in the bind at some point.
Marshall said it perfectly. The wonder of longsword is the bind.
That's everything. That's all fucking swords is the bind. Because I have the potential for a bind, or I have the potential for sword line, or I have sword line, and there's got to be a bind somewhere in there to get to my target if they've got a sword. It doesn't matter what kind of fucking sword.
Suck dick.
Yeah, suck dick, dude.
Really quick, you still have to talk about. Or I do.
You talked about sucking dick. That was good enough.
So after Eli talks about stagnation and then Adam
Stagnation?
talks about his counter to Bo's counter, I want to
What you
see
want?
because I'm learning everybody since I'm still new. I wanted to learn what motivates everybody to fight and why.
That's a good one. I think I've done that. I think I've done that once upon a time.
Counter to Bo real quick before we go back onto that topic, just so you don't have to edit.
I'm just holding.
Yeah, that's fine. So to what Bo said, now do you think that is only because, as you said, it's weapons. Weapons are bind based, is your words. Do you think because
I mean, so is everything else, but
we both went to JKD, we both went to CMA, we both did martial arts. Now, do you think all martial arts there can't be a thing called a counter fighter where they use the initiative of someone else against them, as in because judo uses them like.
what I'm saying is, if you call yourself a
something.
counter fighter, you put yourself in the mindset of being a target.
Well, most definitely. That's why I used it as a secondary term.
You don't have any balance.
Yeah, definitely. And
You
that's
need to
what I
have
noticed,
balance.
is that there's a lot of imbalance with my fighting, especially when I get closer in those 7 ranges.
So erase that word, counter fighter,
Most definitely. So you
and
believe
just fight.
that the term counter fighter should be used as a way to explain? You just believe that
No.
counter fighter is simply a
I don't think counter.
misexplanation.
I think counter fighter is
A misexplanation.
not necessarily a misexplanation.
I would say it's more of a strategy than it is a technique.
It's a strategy. Yeah. It's not,
Yeah, so
it's not like your style. It's not your style.
Yeah.
Right? If your style is sitting there like a duck, you must be an awfully fucking fast duck. You're
Let me put it
going
this
from
way.
here waiting. You have like you have to have a setup which requires your initiative to engage in a bind, or there's nothing. Like, you don't sound, dude. Come on.
So then, if I can ask you this question, then.
All right, so we got arm out. All right, if he wants to stab me, I gotta fucking do something about it, right?
Yeah.
Right? But, like, go back. If he wants to stab me, like, I can just stop him short. But is that a counter? Because we both moved at the same time. We just entered a bind.
Let
This
me
is
ask
a
some
bind.
questions because I'm still learning and everything.
Okay.
So if he's throwing an attack and you're countering it,
I threw a major asshole theoretical question in today. Like I'm being an asshole right now. I want to make that completely clear because I don't think I have a mind. Oh, he doesn't have a mind. It's just bad. Oh, I'm a counter fighter, dude. You sit there to wait to get hit. Why?
but at the same point in time, if you're in combat and one of the
And you're waiting, you're losing. You have no seme.
That's very true. But at the same point in time, if your opponent is constantly throwing attacks at you and you're constantly
Then you have
defending,
to parry.
well, you're parrying, but wouldn't your opponent eventually get gassed out more than you? As you're
At some
parrying
point
and
in
able
that
to-
parry, you enter a bind, and therefore you should react appropriately, and it shouldn't be that long of an exchange.
And if I can ask this as my instructor, because for people that don't know, Bo is the main instructor of Shafa, and
Casey's at
primarily
13th
my
Scholars.
teacher. Then, Bo, if I can ask you, because you fight me so consistently, then what would be the better way that you would describe my fighting style in the situation? Obviously, we've
The
went on
same
a
way
long
Marshall would. Kicking shit until you listen to some cool music or something.
To what?
Kicking shit till you listen to some music.
Yeah, that's honestly so a lot.
Shaking shit till you're in the mood to do it.
So a lot of people don't realize.
Or shaking shit because you really want to win.
There's a lot of the times where I will play music in my helmet, and I'll put it on, and I'll just zone out, and I'm able to fight better when I do that. Assumingly, I think that's a mental thing. That
Shaking
brain
shit
just can't be there.
is a synonym.
There was a comment made about how it's a conversation between two liars. I'm going to change it up. It is a dance between two liars.
There's 1,000 analogies you could say. All it does is take up time. To be real, it's also music.
There's a blanket between a horse and a saddle.
Sort of a song, song of a sword.
Blanket between horse and a saddle. There's 3 people here who do ride horses and grew up doing it for a living. That is actually a very real statement, but it beats your statement because I grew up riding bareback.
Yeah, ride 'em.
You don't need a saddle.
I ride them for a living. You rode them for a living?
I grew up on the cattle range.
So you ranch.
I worked on ranches.
Yeah, you need a horse, but you don't get paid for riding a horse. You get paid for feeding the horse.
You did.
You raced them?
I didn't race them, but I got paid to break them in and train them. And
Did you train them?
Yes and no. I mean, we
Can-
trained the calves to be able to be.
Can you
horses.
clean my sheath?
They get little nuggets in there. They get little cum nuggets.
We picked this dude up off the street. We picked him up at the Oliver Gospel Mission before
So
we left
this man
Columbia,
is
dude.
not us. He's a homeless man that came in and just took off.
He didn't come in. I picked him up at the Oliver Gospel before we came here,
I'm
dude.
not under any club.
He's one of those military guys that gets out and like becomes a raging alcoholic and just goes to shit.
Yeah, I want you to know all of these beers are in fact from him that are.
So
That is
stagnation.
him. You see what a drinker is, brother.
For me, I realize I'm being stagnant when I feel my feet sticky.
What do you mean by that? Expand on that question.
It's hard for me to move.
That was fire.
It's hard for me to move. It's hard for me to get my footwork working. My hands ain't wanting to do what they're supposed to be doing. It's not necessarily for me, oh no, I'm not progressing in this skill. It's, oh no, I'm making a mistake while I'm trying to fence.
Is that because somebody's doing something? Is that because somebody's doing something that you're not normally used to, or is that simply because you feel like that you're not doing as good as you should be?
So I'm gonna say I have a lot of bad fencing days, and I have a lot of good fencing days. My bad fencing days, I feel more stagnant. I feel like I'm not moving. I feel sluggish. Right?
That
Yeah.
sounds like me every day of the week, dude.
And is there a way to tell a bad fencing day, as you mentioned, from having those? I have those, and it seems that's normal to have bad days, especially similar to the gym. Is there a way to tell between having bad fencing days and to being stagnant? Is there a way that you're able to tell the difference between those?
So a bad fencing day lasts all day. If you're being stagnant, you gotta fucking open the dam and let the floodgates through. And I gotta force myself to start chopping my feet and start moving my hands and wake up and like actually get that water flowing, right? All right, so how do you feel about stagnation?
Let's ask the rookie. Let's ask the rookie what he thinks about stagnant.
I mean, the 2-day dude was talking about it. What's your excuse, dude? You've had more fights.
I don't have a lot of experience. I mean, my only experience with stagnation is outside of fencing. I mean, these last couple, I'd say the last 2 sparring sessions I've had just in class, I felt a little stagnant just because I was like, I mean, he was just manging me for the main part. Like, that's what it felt like because, like,
Was I going
he
to
said-
shit on you one day?
no, but like he said, my feet felt sticky. I wasn't moving like I
You be
could.
on the balls of your feet, brother.
Well,
Vietnamese.
the only thing I have to add, because I mean these guys are way more experienced than me, is for me what changes Stagnation is intensity. So like a change in intensity. So like say the difference between the dojo environment versus coming out to a fair and fighting in front of people with other people I don't know and trying to win against them. The intensity is different there. So if I fight in the dojo, maybe I'm tired that day, maybe I already worked out, maybe whatever, I'm letting myself slack. But when I'm out here, I allow myself, like I was moving a lot faster and I was gassing myself out a lot harder than I would in the dojo against these guys because I'm going to fight them tomorrow. I'm going to fight them yesterday. You know, it's I fought them yesterday. Like it's just a continuous, the fight's not going to go anywhere. But the fight here, I mean, it's not an often chance to fight dojos, but that's about all I got.
Learning experience, then. That's all that matters. Yeah.
I actually do have a question for you, Eli. When you say that, because for people that don't know, Eli did actually train under a different system. We study under Fiore. Eli actually studied under a different system before that. So I actually did want to ask a question to you, because you say that you haven't experienced stagnation with us before doing this, while being either by yourself for that short period or being with the other dojo or the other group for a second. Did you notice any stagnation during that, or stagnation while you were transitioning between learning Fiore or learning our system, between knowing George Silver's system?
Brother, he's had like 8 beers.
George Silver?
He's had like 8 beers, dude. Don't get him started on Silver.
So my main question is, did you notice not just a difference, but did you notice that you were lacking in any area from knowing George Silver to coming over to our area that wasn't like minor, like it was a major difference? And did you have an issue adjusting to that?
Answer at least one of those questions.
Yeah,
one of them, please.
Really only one question.
I got a couple thoughts floating in my head. I'm trying to gather them all together. They're running away. Mainly, what I found about Silver, a lot of the things Silver teaches you is how to deceive other fencers, because we don't stab. And a lot of the things I do, like I'll do like a rake fake into something else, because other people don't do that.
You should rake fake stab.
That's one of the things they teach.
Oh, we didn't fucking stab though, dude.
They did. I don't know what to tell you. They did, but very rarely. It was a lot of cutting. So I feel like my cutting is above average.
I think your cutting's pretty good. I think your cutting looked really good today, and it showed today because those guys are massive. The Scholars, they're massive cutters usually. Now the Savannah crew is bigger on the thrust, and I think you felt that today. But that you also had a handful of fights where like, damn, Lord, he coming down. Lord, he chopped. Get that feeling a lot.
And I feel the only thing I'd say the biggest difference I feel right now, I wouldn't say there's any stagnation. There's a lot of influence on my fighting style right now from what I learned initially, because I like to stay in guards that are cutting focused, like low. What do you call it? Low guard, like fool's guard, like pointed to the ground.
Dente
versus
yeah.
And I'd say mainly people are like cutting at me. I feel way more comfortable. Way more comfortable defending against a cut. I get so scrambled. My brain's scrambled. I'm thinking everything I can do when someone's thrusting at me. that was actually, that was good. But no, thrusts, I definitely need to work on because they don't teach you that.
So,
Agreed.
I want to, hold on. Dude, we've gone a minute. I'm about to end it.
Let me answer this question.
I thought you did. The question.
The question is about stagnation.
You answered it. That was the first thing you talked about.
You already answered it, man.
You already talked about it.
No. When you realize when you're stagnant.
Okay. I mean, I think that's also what you.
Since you're running the soundboard, I'm gonna do a soundboard for you.
Alright. So feeling when I'm stagnating is when the charm of learning is gone.
That too. Yeah.
Like you guys that fought me before, like in the middle of the fight, I make a lot of like quips and remarks just for shits and gigs. When I don't do that, like if the interest is no longer there, it means that I'm stagnating really bad. It's either something personal, or it's either I'm very disappointed in myself, that kind of stuff. Because stagnation is not only when you realize when you're doing it, it's also a mindset.
So I actually do have a question for you, Matthew.
No more
when
questions.
you expand on that, because I do want to truly know his expansion on that statement.
No.
Because you said the wonder of learning.
11:51.
So the wonder of learning in this situation, as you say, as because you do make those remarks, you'll dance sometimes in our conversation, like when we're fighting. That wonder of learning, where can you draw the line between that you're wondering, like you're in this enjoyment of learning this thing and that you're actively having a lot of fun compared to when you're actively
answered it, dude.
stressing about learning something.
Yeah, let me put it this way.
If you'd like to hear more, sign up for the Patreon.
If he's not having fun,
Charlie Brown teacher.
Anyways, let me put it this way. I say, like the wonder learning. I was gonna say spark, but the same thing. Let me put it this way: you're stagnating. We're not having fun.
my Klonopin just kicked my ass, dude. I'm gonna be straight the fuck up. We gotta wrap this up.
Let me
Keep going, but I am fine.
Yeah, let me cap it up.
Fuck, I'm laid out. No.
Let me cap it up. You feel like you're stagnating if you're no longer having fun.
I'm
When you're no
cross-eyed.
longer having fun, you're not positively reinforcing yourself to learn. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that you're not learning because you don't want to learn because you're not having fun.
There you go.
Hello, darkness, my
all I said.
old friend.
I wanna end this on a couple notes. One, well, me and Matthew were literally just on the news. I think that's pretty cool. Put the clip in here. Do the clip.
I'm gonna edit that in. I just cut shit out.
All right, I'll put it in. Fuck, I'll go pay the editor.
Insert clip here.
Insert clip.
Zero.
I don't pay him shit, but the software costs a lot of money. We share it.
Say I can do it, but
Do you video edit?
I'm
Yeah.
doing it for free.
We want to do it for free, but we should work together.
I'll help.
I call and talk about it.
Continue.
Just a little bit. But anyway, so what the fuck was your question that you asked earlier that we never fucking answered because we answered 80 questions about one? It was the most enjoyable part? What inspires you to do this shit? That was what it was. Was that your question?
Yeah.
Oh my fucking guy. I didn't even know if he was listening to me. No, that's now.
Yeah. So starting with Matthew, then we're gonna work all of our way down.
And then I'm going to wrap it up.
And then we go upside.
What was your question? State it first.
All right. So my question was,
That was loud as fuck.
It's all bubbly.
Jesus
Is he
Christ.
still beer?
Yeah.
All right.
So my question
fix it.
was, what motivates and why people got into HEMA or whatever form of fencing you're
Yeah,
into?
give it to the OG right here.
We'll start with Bo.
All right. I have a mic.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That probably sounded like shit. Put it over there so it doesn't fuck with my shit. Put it over there. Keep it facing them. Yeah. Turn it. So, motivation for me is going to be a lot different than anyone else in this room because of my journey. But when I started, essentially, I was just doing martial arts. Same with Adam. We were in the same place, but we didn't really know each other. But yeah. So I have a martial arts background, and then my instructor, Dan, who I do the Good Martial is Universal podcast with alongside Sifu Keith Mosher, who also taught me growing up. I went from JKD into Yaito and Fiore and his own family tradition of Bastone, which is Italian stick fighting. So I learned all that growing up. Decided to be a fuck up in high school, and then I had trained with PK a little, Palmetto Knights. I'll shout them out. Shout out PK. I trained with them a little bit when I was young, and I got back into it because I was doing the Bat Cham Do, the butterfly sword form from Wing Chun at Swordfest 2019, something like that. It's been going on for 5 years, so I think 2020. This was like right when COVID hit, so it fucked the date or something. But yeah, I went and I did it, and I reconnected with PK, and it actually kind of like straightened me up and gave me a lot of inspiration into when I found this. I'll kill you. I'll fucking kill you. But it gave me a lot of inspiration in finding this club based on my experience there through both everything bad and good that happened, how I should run shit going forward. But the real motivator for me was like, I guess I always put it like this, is it's like I owe it because it saved me, so I keep doing it. So it's like redemption in a way, because I was extremely upset that I didn't do that in high school. I could have graduated high school and done martial arts or something, and maybe went to college. I don't want to fucking go to college. I think it's lame. But I mean, dude, there's nothing in college for me, bro. I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's kind of stupid these days. You get
a business major degree wouldn't be
business major degree, brother. I can tell motherfuckers that do business half the shit they don't know because they ain't never
How to
fucking
write
filed.
how to write your own taxes.
Fuck that one, dude. I pay somebody to do that one. Yeah, no, I'm good on that. But I usually don't like to pay them. The IRS is listening, dude. No, you didn't. I made under $5,000 technically. But yeah, I don't know. The motivation originally came from kind of my parents getting me into it. But I wanted to do it, so it worked out. It wasn't forced, and it always evolves. The motivation always evolves, and that's kind of something I want to impart on all of y'all. Is it'll change over time, or it'll fade, or it'll come and go, and that's perfectly normal. A lot of days I don't want to fucking come in and teach y'all. I'm tired. Just be fucking honest. But I look forward to it. Because when I get there, I know it's a good time.
It really is a good time.
It was a good time.
Let's
It's always a
go,
good time.
Casey, yeah, let's
Yo.
hear yours.
So my motivation and shit, like, it's not going to be as long as a story.
I got about
I
like 10
got-
years to talk
Yeah.
about. So, I do believe motivation changes over time. It really does, especially
Yeah.
in a sport. What keeps you in it, like retention is different from interest. And I
Yeah.
can say that from a business standpoint. So fuck all y'all talking about a business degree. Bitch, you can file my taxes.
So
All right, come
Uh,
over. I got all the paperwork.
I guess my story about motivation is like a constant uphill struggle, right? Motivation isn't something that comes easy for me.
Sisyphus in the boulder.
Yeah, it's rough.
The boulder's big these days.
Yeah, and so I did Taekwondo growing up. I wrestled in high school. I boxed for a little bit, like 6 months. I used to work out quite a lot, so I was always doing something physical, right? And I love playing video games. So I think it's like a nice balance to do something physical
Yeah.
and then be able to relax and fucking either play video games or fucking watch TV.
That's a really
or,
cool fucking way of putting it.
Yeah.
I like that.
Honestly, yeah.
So, of course, when you're watching TV and you're playing video games, what do you see?
Serotonin.
Swords and sorcery, right? So, like the
Dark
first time,
Souls.
the first time I wondered
serotonin,
about
but-
sword fighting was watching Conan with fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I just watched that with Sean.
It's a good movie. The
Yeah.
first one's
Yeah,
good.
we
yeah.
We all got drunk and sat down.
Yo, guys, I watched it so.
And we sat down and watched all the Arnold Schwarzenegger movies.
So
I'm just giving you shit, dude.
I tend to do
It's like
like
the Muhammad Ali skit. Did you just say I can no Muhammad? No.
so. I tend to do deep dives on things, right? So I'll get curious about something and I'll fucking look it up. And I found out that fucking Arnold actually had some Japanese swordmaster come over and teach him swordsmanship. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, where's
That actually gives me a lot of context because he
Yeah.
holds a Bowhurt event at the Arnold
Yes.
every year.
I almost went to that.
Classic.
Really?
There's a HEMA portion of it too.
That's weird.
It's not popular, but like they've.
We should go.
We
I want to
should.
go to the Arnold. Fuck. I think.
It's no longer called the Arnold Classic, but it's something else now.
What is it? Because Arnold's an asshole
I
now.
don't know.
Yeah, you have like controversy, right?
But it's the same. But it's
Yeah,
the same
okay.
people that's running the show. It's just a different name.
So then, of course, like, how do Hollywood actors learn how to sword fight? There's something called stage combat. That's kind of fucking lame. You don't actually get to learn how to use a sword. You learn how to not hit people. That's not very cool.
Choreographed, right?
Yeah, it's all choreographed. I ran across this old DVD from 2011,
Oh, cool.
and it was on YouTube. And I want to say it was like
Tell me it was Lynn Thompson. Cold
No, no,
Steel.
no.
Oh,
It
that
was
would have
like-
been so cool.
it was like German reenactors doing
Cool.
like Goliath,
Okay.
the Goliath manual. Yeah, and I've sent it to you, I think.
I don't
But if-
remember.
after the podcast,
Gone
we'll look
to?
at, but the way they're doing HEMA is different than the way we do HEMA. There's a lot of back stepping and forward stepping. They have a really weird way they do hang-ins, but it all makes sense. And I was like, oh, this isn't stage combat. This
That
is
opens
something
your
different.
eye.
Yeah, I said, this is something different. And I got online. I was like, where do I do this in America? And it wasn't a thing, right?
So you made it a thing.
No, I didn't. But I ran across a documentary and it's on YouTube. It's like the fucking HEMA documentary everyone sees. I was like, hell yeah, I got to get into this. And luckily enough, there's a guy in Charlotte at a school and I started going up there and I said, this is cool as hell. Like
Yeah.
I was either gonna do jujitsu or I was gonna learn like Kali, like a weapon-based martial art. And I seen this and I was like, fuck it.
So I'll rant a little about Kali. Most dudes teaching it are good. They suck at teaching.
Sure.
Like we had I'm not gonna show this guy too hard, but he was cool. Like I saw him smoke a cigarette, so he gets a pass. Like
Yeah.
I thought it was cool. Chinese teacher or whatever. He did all the Filipino shit. He came to a seminar at the Dajang. And he would show you a bunch of cool shit. And when you had questions, it wasn't a whole lot, but he would expand and it was just like
You
he's
do it
one of
this
those
way because this
instructors
is the
that
way you do it.
No, it's not that. He'll just show you how cool he is. It's like Bruce Lee back in the day. He showed you
I
how
got
cool
you.
he is.
It's like how Fiore written
It's like
into
Fiore,
his
yeah.
books. Like I'm so cool. Look at how I can do this 13-step play.
And then it doesn't tell you shit.
And then it's like, okay, well, why do we do this? It doesn't matter. Just look at how cool I am. that
There were
I'm
a lot of
able to do
wise
this.
ass that day. There was a lot
And
of
there was
wise
no
ass that
answers
day.
given.
But
to
it's
that.
not a bad martial art.
No,
I'll say
Kali's
that.
amazing. I will say that definitely.
They just need to work on some
Yeah.
stuff.
So
over
so
there.
my main motivation is not becoming a slob. And if I do become a slob, at least I'll have bow staff skills. And
True.
and women love bow staff skills.
That's true.
They love bow in his staff skills.
Dude, oh my god.
I was quoting Napoleon Dynamite, okay?
I was making an insult. Anytime Spo is in a word, we insult him.
Leave me alone.
I didn't know that. My bad. I would have said quarterstaff.
Fuck.
So I was just gonna say, who is next on the motivation?
I'm gonna give it to
question?
Eli.
Eli.
Yeah. Why not you?
He'll get over it.
Why do you smack people?
I know y'all.
My motivation, I'll save you from the Yap Fest. I don't like fighting. I hate it. I never liked fighting in my life.
That's why you joined the Air Force.
I hate fighting. I can't stand
why
it.
you-
So I do.
That's why you get to sleep till late.
I do everything I can to try to.
Sit on
I was
your
like,
ass.
I might as well go fight.
How many times have you heard the fight or flight?
Pretty often, yeah.
Please tell me, Nick,
But-
how often you're part of the chair.
I don't like fighting, but I knew I needed to do it, so it was either this or boxing, and I was like, well, swords are way fucking cooler.
Yeah.
Like this is.
You
just
learn a little about
shit.
everything through something, you know?
Yeah, like I've always liked video games and movies with sword fighting, so
Yeah.
His favorite game.
yeah, that's my motivation.
Oblivion's fire. I just modded the fuck out of it.
So mine is definitely a lot more annoyingly complex. Much like how Bo.
Make it concise.
It will definitely be concise. So, like how Bo said that me and him grew up doing JKD. It was a form of kung fu that originally was like called karate, but it was really JKD. And our current instructor actually recreated that form, which is amazing. But continue on to that statement. The reason why I got into HEMA originally is one, because I love knights and I read a lot of fantasy novels. But growing up, I did martial arts, and then I went into doing other sports, less physically engaging, in my opinion, like football, soccer, and tennis, and so on and so forth. But I always got drawn back to the idea of martial arts to some capacity. I tried going into Muay Thai. I sadly did not like the instructor. He threw me in when he shouldn't be, and so on and so forth. And I've always loved the idea of sword fighting growing up. I've tried to recreate it with my friends using like decorative swords that are meant to be wall hangers. And one day, and even sticks, yeah, because me and Bo grew up doing Kali to a very minimal capacity, and even staff to some basic extent. But I think that was more me so than him. Did you do staff?
I thought it was gay.
Yeah. So more me so
I
than
didn't
him.
like it, to be honest.
And,
I didn't like it.
Then
I was
after a
like,
while of years of not playing sports, because I stopped doing martial arts, went and did actual like sports to get scholarships for. I found that I hated it. I stopped, gained a bunch of weight, got back into working out, and then found this because my friend told me about it, and I've been here since then. And it gives me all the engagement of martial arts, and on top of that, it actually allows me to do things that I think as cool. But now I just can't read comics the same, because when I see them in a wrong position, I get mad at myself.
That was about a minute and 20.
I'm sorry that I have detailed answers to a podcast.
That was actually more than him. Who's getting a phone call?
Somebody's getting a Skype call.
Who's getting a phone? Oh.
Oh my god, that was pretty good.
All right. You're last. It was your question. It was your last.
All right, I guess I'm last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No? Yeah.
You
You
wanna
did
go?
go. You were the first to go.
No, he just asked the question.
Oh, never mind. Oh, you pointed to me. That's right. You're not. Yeah. All right.
All right, I guess I'm going.
Go. We'll give him Matthew.
So I guess my
Sorry, dude.
motivation of getting into this is I love Skyrim, Oblivion, and anything that has
Targeted advertisement.
Honestly, that's how he got me. Is anything like
It took one day.
wise?
It took one day and $40 for
Yeah.
15-day advert.
And he got me. But I love history, and I love tactical history, studying the different forms and art styles and the brains of the generals of old, like Sparta and
We just
Alexander
talked
the Great,
about
and
it,
all
didn't
these different things. Yeah, we legitimately sat there and talked about the different tactics that the Roman Empire
We
used.
argued about phalanx formations and the degree of turn radiation.
The phallus formation.
The
But-
phalanx formation is an X in there somewhere.
And who
Honestly.
died because they were soft.
Licinius.
Shout out to Flacidius, man.
He's
R.I.P.
Shout out Crassus.
Honestly.
Shout out Crassus.
So recently I did a DNA history thing. I'm half from Colombia where I'm born. I'm Native American there. But the other half, I'm Iberian from the Iberian Peninsula. And the kingdom back then, I managed to trace it
What
back
the
to
fuck is that?
It's, Iberia is Spain and
That's why I figured,
Portugal.
but I
Yeah.
had no clue. I thought it was Eastern Europe for a second.
so when I did my interest through history, it turns out that I'm actually from the kingdom of Castile and Leon, which were the Spanish knights. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna learn how to do
You
what
got
my
a heraldry?
ancestry did, and now I smack people with
Did
swords.
you go in there and find your heraldry symbols?
I actually found it. It's
He's got it on lock. Is that it?
yeah, it's right there
Is
actually.
this your inspiration?
It's honestly one of my biggest
He had
things.
it locked, dude. This is locked screen.
It's like right here. Like I at
But
the
you gotta
event
start
at the
doing-
event that we were at, there was the flag, and I almost kind of
But you gotta
contemplated
start-
asking to buy it.
Then you got to start working on.
Yes, I do. So
That's
we'll work
a lot
on
of
that one
words.
day.
So
I'm not reading.
now, Matthew, you don't need it. What was your shit? Why are you getting into this? What's up?
2 things. 1, I'm a history nerd.
2 bitches. I don't know. Midgets. Why aren't the ring girls in midget boxing?
Dude,
Midgets.
Oh my god.
Why aren't the midgets in midget boxing? Why aren't the ring girls midgets? Why aren't the ring girls midgets?
History nerd. Learning history is one thing. Doing it is another.
Making it something else entirely.
Making it something else entirely.
Damn.
I think everybody in this room right now could definitely agree that we're a bunch of history nerds
And autistics.
and we want to do it. Right?
Yeah,
We love history. That's one of the biggest things.
And then autistic is definitely a big one.
That's my thing.
I feel like it's for most people in HEMA. I feel like that's actually
Number
not
2.
talked about a lot, and I don't want it to be taboo to talk about it. But we absolutely all got some tism.
We got to touch it.
A lot of them. A lot of me.
You got it. That's what I
Yeah,
was gonna say.
rhythm with the tism.
Rhythm with the tism.
What was your second?
Number 2. So remember what I said about in fencing, you know yourself in and out?
We're getting deep.
No diddy.
Yeah, that's what Plato said, man. Know thyself. And the best way for me to know myself is through fighting. It's through knowing when I have my flight and fight response. You know exactly when it's that song from Kenny Loggins. You got to know when you hold up.
Know when to hold up.
And then the walk. Arts in general makes you hone your instinct. It doesn't matter if it's boxing. It doesn't matter if it's Muay Thai. It just so happened that 1, I'm a history buff. And 2, I like to do history things.
Probably a little autistic.
And to sum it all up, that too. And to sum it all up, it just so happened that me and Bo started to found this club, and we are open and willing to share to everybody. Martial arts, and to quote Avatar: The Last Airbender, martial arts does not belong to one nation; it belongs to all of us.
Okay, I have a serious question. How do you train instinct? How do you teach someone to
You
use
don't.
their
I'm going to answer this question because I know the answer to this question. Break instinct. You don't train instinct.
Okay, so how do I describe the feeling I get when I know someone is about to do something and I'm
It's not instinct.
Can I
What is that?
answer that
That's
question?
because you've done that so many
No.
times, you can feel that.
But I've
It's
never
not-
fought those people
Can I-
before.
can I
It's
answer that
fine.
real quick?
Yeah,
It's
go for it,
fine.
go
It's
for
an
it.
obvious tell that you saw.
Can I
It's
answer
not
that real quick?
instinct. It's never instinct. Human instinct is this. You don't flinch. You're not supposed to flinch. Every time someone did this at you and you did that, you're getting carded. That's instinct. Instinct is something you're programmed to do. You can't program yourself to do something. You can only unprogram it or reprogram it.
Okay, so maybe my
Real quick.
definition of instinct is different, but go ahead.
The guys that went to my classes, especially Alec, Adam right here. I said Alex.
Oh, we have an Alec.
Whenever I'm teaching, and then you listen, dude. Alex. Whenever you ask for specifics, whenever you ask for if somebody does this, how should my arm be positioned? That kind of stuff. I like to teach saber, and keep telling everybody it's the easiest form of sword fighting you could ever learn your entire life. I could teach somebody to be a master in 10 minutes or less. And when somebody comes to specifics, this is where the instinct comes in. That's a conversation you want to have to yourself.
It's mainly because some people
Downvote, disagree. Like,
So me and Bo have had
Reddit
this conversation
silver.
actually.
Reddit silver,
Me and Bo
dude.
have had this conversation, and especially me and Dan as well. Of do you teach principle first, as in the principles behind the techniques, or do you teach the techniques first?
You teach
It
techniques
seems-
first.
Yeah, you teach
Yeah.
the techniques first, and you learn the principles through the technique.
Half of why the reason we have
But
the seminar.
some people don't understand the tactile feeling; they understand it mentally first, and I seem to think that way. And once I understand it through the explanation, and then I get the tactile feeling, I understand it better.
I'm gonna say my piece here. Got it. But essentially, this shit's not that hard.
Join us for episode 4.
Oh no, I know what it was.
I want to say, I could be wrong. I want to say there's like 5 different ways people learn, right? There's like the visual learner.
Yep.
There's like whatever
Audio
else. Yeah. So I didn't learn that
There's
part.
5 things. There's one of them, and then 4 others that I might not know.
All right. So this was HEMA House,
Join us for episode 4.
Savannah, Georgia. HEMA.
Shout out to School of St. George, Savannah. Shout out to Mark
Shout out
Strong.
to
Mark
the fan
Strong
for
is
this
great.
Airbnb.
Appreciate it.
As you can see, your money went to really good use.
Yeah,
hope
Marshall, I
this-
hope you were here today.
So
I'm sorry,
FYI, I did.
I thought it was gonna
be
pull up, but
before we
I
got
haven't,
here. You did not. Your money did not get spent incorrectly. All the taxpayer dollars got spent from the U.S. government.
his taxes on unless he spent his tax return on this, and I don't think
If you did spend your tax return on this Airbnb, thank you.
I don't know if he gets a
Definitely
tax
say,
return on those jobs.
letting Bo do this was a mistake, but everyone else is happy.
What the fuck? Well, that's HEMA House 2025, the first of. Thank you all for watching. Hit the notification bell, like, subscribe, all
See you
that
again
shit.
sometime in June or April.
Yeah,
depending on if Bo
see you
lets us
whenever
do
the
one.
fuck I upload this. It is currently February 9th. You'll see this.
Drop the date because then that pressures you.
I don't care. I'll still.
Today is the 9th.
Dude, he's chopping it up. All I have to do is
So
throw shit in there.
So join us for episode 4 when we talk about sword cults, mysticism, and demons.
So the biggest
Facts.
sword court is Albion. Albion literally makes.
Are you doing this?
We didn't even die. Damn, we did that for a while.